Hi kids, welcome back to Kids Church Online this week. We are so excited to be able to do Kids Church with you again this week. So wherever you are, watching with your families and you can get your big people to join in too, we have an amazing morning of Kids Church planned for you. So first we're going to sing some of our favourite songs, then we're going to have an amazing story time, and then we're even going to get to do an awesome craft activity. So get your big people to join in and let's get ready to do Kids Church. Yay!
Reading my Bible early, and this is what it says to me. It tells me that I'm never ever alone. I'm learning how Jesus came down to us and gave his best. Without a doubt, the best friend you'll ever know. Our God knows exactly what I need, so I remember this. Let's go! When you ask, he cares. When you seek, he's there. When you knock, 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 God opens up the door. When you ask, he cares. When you seek, he's there. When you knock, 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 God opens up the door. Oh, oh. I'm reading my early, and this is what it says to me. It tells me that I'm never ever alone. I'm learning how Jesus came down to us and gave his best. Without a doubt, the best friend you'll ever know. Our God knows exactly what I need, so I remember this. Let's go! When you ask, he cares. When you seek, he's there. When you knock, 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 God opens up the door. When you ask, he cares. When you seek, he's there. When you knock, 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 God opens up the door. Oh, when you ask, he cares. When you seek, he's there. When you knock, 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 God opens up the door. When you ask, he cares. When you seek, he's there. When you knock, 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 God opens up the door. God knows exactly what I need, so I remember this. Let's go! When you ask, he cares. When you seek, he's there. When you knock, 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 God opens up the door. When you ask, he cares. When you seek, he's there. When you knock, 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 God opens up the door. You opened up the door. You opened up the door. Moses had faith to part the sea. Daniel was brave in the lion's den. Noah was busy building the ark. They trusted in their God. If you're up against something really big, just remember what God has said. Be strong, be strong, be strong, and dare be courageous. Be strong, for I am always by your side. Queen Esther stood before the king. Joseph was left, sold as a slave. David had courage to face Goliath. They trusted in their God. If you're up against something really big, just remember what God has said. Be strong, be strong, be strong, very courageous. Be strong, for I am always by your side. Be strong, very courageous. Be strong, for I am always by your side. Be strong, for I am always by your side. Be strong, for I am always by your side. Be strong, for I am always by your side.
Hey, did you do some great singing then? I sure did. I hope you enjoyed the songs. In the Bible, we've been learning about the people that God called to follow him and who loved him and who he loved. And there was a prophet named Samuel who we learnt about last week. He was a little boy who loved God, and he grew up to be a prophet and do everything that God said. He obeyed him. Then God called another little boy who was named David, and he was a shepherd. And when he grew up, God asked him to be the king. But before that, he had some problems. There were some challenges in his life, a little bit like what we're having today. We're having some challenges and some problems with the virus. But you know what? God's still in charge, and he was in charge even though David faced some amazing challenges, and he had someone chase him. A king named Saul got a whole bunch of men to chase David. Do you think you can listen really carefully and tell me how many men chased David? And at the end of the story, I'll come back and I'll ask you. Have a good listen now. Bye.
The Miracle of Mercy. David and Saul. This is David.
Hey!
David was a shepherd who lived in Israel. David was chosen by God to be the next king of Israel when he was just a boy. But David had to wait a very long time until that promise would come true, because there was another king of Israel named Saul. Saul was strong and tall and looked like everything a king should be. But Saul did not follow God like he was supposed to, and for that reason, God chose to take the kingdom from Saul's family and give it to David's. David became a great warrior. And everyone in the kingdom loved David.
Huh?
This made Saul jealous, and Saul hated David because he thought he would try to kill him and take the throne from his family. So Saul wanted to kill David.
Whoa!
Saul hunted David, but he couldn't catch him. One day, Saul heard that David was in the wilderness of En-Gedi. So Saul gathered 3,000 of his skilled fighters and went to find and kill David. During Saul's search for David, he went in a cave to relieve himself. Well, this very cave was the one where David and his men were hiding. And when David's men saw that Saul was unaware that David was there and unable to defend himself, they said, "Now's your chance, David. This is God telling you that he will give you your enemy to do with as you wish." So David crept forward and cut off a piece of Saul's robe. But then David began to think that it was not right for him to take Saul's life. For no matter how much hardship and difficulty Saul had caused him, it was still not right for him to hurt the one who God had placed over Israel. So David told his men to back off, and he did not let them kill King Saul. They waited until after Saul had left the cave. And then David ran out of the cave and shouted after Saul, "My king! Why do you listen to people who say I am trying to harm you? Look, I cut it off, but I didn't kill you. This proves that I am not trying to harm you and that I have not sinned against you, even though you've been hunting me." David went on to promise that he would never harm Saul. David said that God would be the one to protect David and to rescue him from Saul's power. Saul said, "Is that really you, David?" And he began to cry. Saul said, "You are a better man than I. You have been amazingly kind to me today, for when God put me in a place where you could have killed me, you didn't do it. Who else would have done this? And now I realize that you are surely going to be king, and the kingdom of Israel will flourish under your rule. But promise me that when that happens, you will not kill my family." So David promised that he would not hurt Saul's family, and they left each other in peace. Now Saul continued to cause difficulty in David's life. But David kept his promise, and in time, David did become king of Israel. David was dearly loved by God, and Israel did flourish under his rule because David did everything that God wanted him to do, and he was a man after God's own heart.
I love the story of David. That was amazing, wasn't it? Did you hear how many men Saul took to chase David? Yeah. There were 3,000. That's a lot of men. And yet they didn't capture David because God was with him, God loved him, and David trusted God. It's the same for us. We can trust God even though there's lots of crazy things going on in our world right now and we have to stay home and be safe. We're a bit like David hiding in the cave. We're staying home to stay safe, but God is with us and he loves us and he loves you especially, and he wants you to keep trusting him and loving him. I've got a special craft for you now to help us remember that God is with us and he loves us. And even though David was hiding, he was protected by God the same as we're protected by God. So here's a colouring picture that you can do. There's David on top with the cut off bit of robe from King Saul. You can colour that and the other craft, and you can get mum or dad to upload it onto our WBC Kids and Family web page, Facebook page. And if you do that, I'll get to see it and I'll give a shout out to those who I see. So last week I saw that Zachary, Isaiah, Daniel, Brody and Joshua all did some great colouring and craft. Well done. I hope some more of you can do it this week and upload it. And here is our craft. This is the picture that you can download, get mum or dad or someone in the family, and then you colour these. And you know what? There's a special bit. This is King Saul and this is his robe. And you need to colour his robe one special colour, and then down here, that's the little bits of his robe that David cut off. So colour those bits, and here's the bit in David's hand. If you colour those 3 bits there, the same colour as his robe, when it's finished, something special will happen. So colour in the picture, cut it out, and then glue them back to back like this one. There's the back and there's the front. So when it's coloured in and you close it, you can see there's King Saul with his robe, but when you open it, look, the piece is cut off and it's in David's hand. Have a go at doing that. I'm looking forward to seeing them uploaded. Have a good time. Bye.
Goodbye, we'll see you later. Let me see your alligators now. Goodbye, we'll see you later. Let me see your alligators now. Don't forget to pray to God. Don't forget to love each other. Don't forget that God loves you. And don't forget that we love you too. Goodbye, we'll see you later.
Hope you had a really good time today, guys, doing the activity, singing the songs and watching the story. But for now, it's goodbye, and I hope we'll see you next week.